Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited about this webinar. The topic being how to use the Autopilot and LiveChat integration. We are fancy today and have a hashtag. The hashtag is LiveChat Autopilot. Very creative of me. And you can use the LiveChat Autopilot hashtag if you like tweeting. So you're joined today by myself, Michael Sharkey. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Autopilot, and Philip, who heads the developers program at LiveChat. So welcome, Philip. Do you want to just give a quick introduction about what you do at LiveChat?
Yeah, sure. Hi, hello, Michael. Glad to be here. What I do at LiveChat is basically run a program for developers that work externally on top of our platform using our APIs, SDKs, and all of the tools that we provide to build additional services, additional apps, additional value for our customers. And that's pretty much it. And yeah, glad to be joining you about the newest integration with Autopilot.
Excellent. It's great to have you. And LiveChat, for those who don't know, have a number of great integrations that you can connect up to LiveChat, and we'll be covering how all that works today. So if you do want to ask questions as we go, because I know there are a lot of people that are tuned in that are really interested in specific questions about LiveChat and Autopilot. So if you do want to ask questions, you can either tweet them at us using that hashtag, we'll be monitoring it, or pop your question in the GoToWebinar question box. So let's get started. So really the purpose of today's webinar is to help you learn how you can be really effective with LiveChat on your website, and just show you how we're using LiveChat at Autopilot, and how you can create automation-based follow-ups after your chats to not only make your the people that are chatting to your customers much more productive and efficient, but also do some really clever things like identifying people that are sales qualified and assigning them to people on your sales team automatically. So we're going to be hands-on today and as interactive as possible. Please do ask questions as you go, and we'll try and get through them. So I did want to start out with a quick poll here. It's a very simple question, just to get a feeling of the audience. Do you currently use LiveChat on your website? So I'm just curious if you're already using LiveChat, and that's going to help us target today's content a lot better. Great. So we have some results in. A lot more people, Philip, using LiveChat than I thought, which is great to see. So I'll quickly close that out and share the results on screen now. So 63% of you are already using LiveChat, and 20% of you aren't, and almost 20% aren't but want to soon. So that's perfect. You've attended the correct webinar today. So let me go ahead and pop back up my screen, and we can keep going here. So Philip, it'd be great if you could just give us, for those that don't know, a background to LiveChat, and I'd love to hear about obviously Bot Engine and some of the other projects you guys are working on.
Certainly. So as you probably know how LiveChat solution works, I would like to say a bit about our company. We'd like to say that we are mainly a team of people who are building the product and all variety of services for the last 15 years. So our first line is the support team. Those are the people who you see on the right hand side. They wear capes because we call them support heroes. And actually they are heroes because they deal with all kinds of problems and issues that turn out to be connected with our services. So what started 15 years ago as a simple solution for creating a chat widget on your website today is more like entire platform of solutions. We are used by 23,000 companies all around the world, and we started to develop a kind of experiment, a new application, a new software, which is a Chat.io, and that's a product that's focused on developers. It's directed to to people who want to build their own chat solution. We got an awesome product, which is Bot Engine. It's about creating your chatbots and all the sexy modern stuff. We also do have a great product called Knowledge Base. It's a solution that allows you to create your very own online knowledge base, a self-service kind of thing that also uses some artificial intelligence beneath. And we also like to mention that we create kind of a community of businesses with that amount of customers. We do have partners and experts and developers that create a network of like mutual benefits and connections.
That's awesome. So can you tell everyone listening that isn't using LiveChat already? So I think about half of our audience roughly isn't already using LiveChat. Can you tell us about not only what LiveChat can do, but also just some of the benefits people see from implementing LiveChat on their website and what impact it can have on teams like sales, support, and success?
Sure. So it's really hard to pick just a few of them because obviously I'd like to say about all the features and benefits. But for me personally, what I like about LiveChat, particular LiveChat software, is that it allows you to use the chat on the go, so the mobile apps and within your workspace with desktop apps and web apps. So we do put a great amount of thought on creating the UIs and how the software works, so that is offloaded of the user. We also created a bunch of e-commerce features, and that really works for us as well. The one thing that we do is called dog fooding. It's using your own software to deal with your own problems. So we use LiveChat pretty extensively. And the other two things that I like to mention a lot is that it's LiveChat actually highly customizable. So you can create your very own experience of using LiveChat with many integrations, many apps, and also with many technical bits and tools that allows you to customize LiveChat.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that we've done at Autopilot, which kind of brings me to the next slide. So many of you that are already using Autopilot would know, well, you may have seen this popping up in the product recently. We've had this little chat icon in the left-hand corner, and we've been able to use the LiveChat API to embed LiveChat into our product so it sort of feels a part of it. And the cool thing about it is the way we've set it up through the API is that we can actually isolate specific agents or specialists to different groups of customers. So we've grouped them basically into people who are in trial, people who are existing customers, and then people who are browsing our website. So we can sort of have different people from our success team working with existing customers, have our support team working with people who are in trial getting set up, and then have occasionally salespeople pop in when needed for people browsing our website. And that's worked really great. And today, for those customers that are listening, you may be wondering, why is this chat randomly appearing and then going away? And that's because we've been testing it for quite some time to make sure that as we get the service up and running, we have enough people to support it. Because our goal was to roll it out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I'm excited to say, as of April 4th, 2018, so very soon, we'll have coverage 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Sorry, I can't help.
No, that's my Google Home speaking in the background. So we're obviously really excited about LiveChat. We actually had LiveChat when we first launched Autopilot, and we were so excited about the results we saw from it. We felt like it brought us closer to customers. We could help them in real time. Before they published a big journey with like 1 million people in that journey, it's nice to be able to just chat to someone and check that everything's okay. And the results have been great for us. I mean, we've literally seen just last month, 28% of our new customers were influenced by LiveChat, by having a great experience with a chat agent, which is really cool to see. And the automation has been great for us. We've been able to escalate things to sales or the success team based on the tags we use. And that's what we do want to show you today.
Yeah, it sounds great, and congratulations for covering the entire period, the entire 24 hours, 7 days a week, right? We do this in live chat, and we know that it's hard, but with the right tools, with the right integration, it can become easy, like and normal.
Yeah, I think it's something that you really do need to invest in. I do see a lot of people using, different sort of like chat services now that that are sort of always on and always there, and they act like someone's always there. And I think the problem that we found when looking at a bunch of tools like that is it actually frustrates customers more than it helps them, and creates a pretty bad user experience if there's a chat widget in the corner that says, Mike usually replies in like 12 hours or 6 hours or something, it's not a very good experience. You're getting this like live chat widget and it looks great. And as a business owner or a marketer, you feel really great about it. You're like, oh, well, we've got this cool thing we can interact with customers. But the reality is your customers actually hate it because they've sort of got to wait for a reply. So for us, it was really important when we went live with this that we had really great coverage. There was always someone there. And in fact, it's been so popular that we've had to sort of hire more people to get that coverage and make sure that you don't have to wait in queue for very long when you use it. So let's jump into the actual how it all works here. I know there are some questions coming through, and I assure you we'll get to them straight after this demo. So let's take a look at how it all works, and I'm going to show you sort of the bare basics today. And as I go, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. So I've actually gone ahead and signed up for a live chat trial. So this is only a trial account, so it does show you the capabilities that you'd be able to have just trialing the software to begin with. Of course, live chat are brilliant and have people here that can help you all the time as you're working through setting up your live chat account. Then I've got the demo site that I use all the time, and I've actually set up live chat on this website. So you can see I've got a pre-roll message. This is one of the default ones built in. It knows that I've visited before, so welcome back. Can I help you with anything? Super personal, and I can interact with it. And then over in Autopilot, let's click into a journey here. And I can show you exactly how I can set this up and get everything going. So the whole idea behind this that I want to show you today is that when you start with a few agents and you've got a lot of chats going, or maybe you're much smaller and you only have like one agent who's working like 8 hours a day, and at times they might get overwhelmed. So they have a lot of people that are chatting to them. And there's a lot of follow-up and tasks that they've got to do. And so we found this happening all the time. So on our website, people would be like, I'd like a demo of the product, or they had questions about pricing, or in the product, they might say like, what's the best practice around lead nurturing and things like that. So with this integration, you're able to tag people in live chat and then start an automation, a follow-up sequence to support, you at scale when you're chatting to people. And so Philip, once I just show you how it all works, we're going to go through 3 use cases. And I think after this demo, it's really interesting to hear how this integration came about, because live chat actually kind of invented this idea through using Autopilot and live chat through our API. And we loved it so much. We were like, we should do this. And then we realized, hang on, our customers will probably want to do this as well. So for those unfamiliar with Autopilot, we have our triggers, actions, and conditions. There's quite a few of them now. And so you can do some cool things here. So firstly, we'll take the live chat integration, which is just a shape here, a trigger live chat tag. And to set this up, you can either set it up through the shape initially, or you can just go into your app connections here where you authenticate into all the apps and go into live chat. And I've already got it connected, but it's super easy. You just need a live chat account. It can be a trial account as well if you're just setting it up. And then you click a button in here, connect, you authenticate into live chat, and you're good to go. So let's go back over to the journey here, and I'll show you sort of what a sequence looks like, and then we'll just run an actual test through it. So let's imagine I'm on my wine time site, and someone's chatting to me about an upcoming wine event, and they want to get more information about the event. And in cases like this, say they were a big buyer of our wines, we might want to follow them up in a unique way, or we might want to target them specifically rather than just sort of waste that opportunity in that conversation. So I've got some tags that come through from live chat here, and I'll quickly show you how that works. So over in live chat, in the settings, we have tags. You'll find this in Agent Tools tags in the settings up the top. And so you can create as many tags as you want. I've just created a few: remind, follow up, assign to sales, and then there's some default ones as well: complaint, positive feedback, etc. And so these tags will actually come through directly through the integration. So let's imagine I'm chatting to someone on the site and I want to basically tell sales about this lead because it's really good and we should definitely follow it up. So I can say, when someone adds the tag assigned to sales, I'm going to go and assign the lead to someone on my team. And then after that, I don't have Salesforce set up, so you'll just have to imagine. And then I'm going to send a follow-up email to that person saying, hey, it was great chatting to you earlier. I'm introducing you to someone on our team, and here's more information about the event. So you get that really smooth follow-up after the event. Now, there's some other things you can do here as well with our integrations with Facebook audiences and even AdWords audiences. So on Facebook, you could, because you know that they're a qualified lead from your sales team, you could actually add them to a specific audience. And you could call, you can like set up a new audience in here. So we could say like live chat sales leads. And I'll just do the same description in here and pick my George the Giraffe AdWords account, Facebook account rather. And so you can see the power of this integration. You've got this human interaction through the chat. We're able to add them to a Facebook audience, assign the lead, and send an email. And so I'll just delete the assignment of a lead out, and we'll just stick with a follow-up email here. And I'll just, for the sake of making this quick, edit an existing sort of blank email here. So in here, you can sort of say like, hi, first name, great speaking with you earlier. Here is more information about the event. I'll have someone from my team reach out to you, etc., etc. So you get the idea. And so not only now can I target them on Facebook to remind them about the event details, but I can also send them an email and do really anything I want. Like you might think SMS is a better way to communicate with them. So after you send the reminder email, you could send an SMS to remind them about the event and various other things. There's a number of other integrations you could do, like next time they come back to the website, show a message to remind them of the event as well. But just for the sake of showing you a really simple way of how this works, let's stick to this. So we go and publish the journey, and then we'll go back over to the wine time site here, and we'll start a chat. So if anyone who's attending the webinar wants to sort of play along, you're more than welcome. You can go to winetime.space. This is a real website. And you can chat to me. I can see there's some visitors already coming onto the website. So live chat's great. In the visitors tab, you can actually see your users. And in our actual live chat account, we've wired it up so we can see all the information about your account here. And I have an incoming chat from Peter, so I can say, hi, Peter. This happens to be my brother who is in New York and also works at Autopilot. And he says, I want wine, please. What kind of wine do you want? So you can see I can start this great. He wants wine for working hard at Autopilot. I can arrange that. And then I can say, I will get someone to call you from my sales team. And so now what I can do is I can tag the chat and I can say assign to sales. And that's going to tell Autopilot to do the rest. And then I can confidently go ahead and close this chat out. And I'm done. I don't really have to think about that interaction again, but I've got this beautiful personal follow-up that's going to come through the chat. And so you can see in here that Peter Sharkey was tagged, assigned to sales in live chat. And in a moment, you'll see that email will go out. So he's entered the journey. He'll be added to that Facebook retargeting list. And for those that aren't familiar with that, it just allows me to add Peter to a group where I can target him specifically based on that conversation I was having with him. And we have another tutorial that you can go and watch on that. And so you'll see the new activity come through here. He was added to the live chat sales leads, and all the other various events in the journey would then work. From the other side, just so you can see what it looks like, I can come in and chat. And this pre-chat survey is really how we get the information. You can also, using the live chat API, wire this up. So just like Autopilot, if you already know who's logged in, you can tell live chat, hey, we know this person, here's who they are, so they can skip this step. And you can customize this however you like. I haven't bothered to do that. And so this is what it looks like from the other end. So I'm literally chatting to myself. And so I can say, hello there. So this is the experience they would have on the front of the website. Again, you can customize how this looks. I'm just a sucker for this particular design. And again, the tagging, same deal, assigned to sales, and we have another lead. They don't see anything on the front end. They don't know that you've tagged them as a sales lead. And you can have great conversations with your customers, through this system. So that's a quick demo. It seems like we've got some other visitors on the website, which is great. So you can see them in here. We've got people from Auckland and Canada and Guatemala, so that's really cool. So you can see where people are from, what their local time is, and chat away. So that's a very quick introduction into live chat and Autopilot and how it works. I've got Corey chatting here, so I can say, hi, Corey. All the way from NZ. Here we go. This is really cool. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, we better stop this because something could go wrong. But I appreciate the interaction. And I've done enough demos in my time and gotten away with those demos that I'm pretty happy to stay away from that right now. Okay, cool. So let's jump back into the content and keep going. So let's talk about some use cases. And so you just saw a pretty similar use case to this, where you essentially have the assign to sales chat tag. Now you can call it whatever you want, like super hot sales lead. You can then wait. This sort of waits 10 minutes, assigns the lead, and then sends a follow-up. And the idea behind that is that, you have that artificial delay, so it feels real. And if it feels like they have introduced you. In a lot of our follow-ups, we actually do CC in using our new email CC feature, the person that was assigned a lead. So it's like, hey, just introducing you to, and we don't actually know who it's going to assign to at that point. And this is a great way to identify people on the website that are qualified through qualification criteria with a live chat agent, and then send them a beautiful follow-up. And this has been working tremendously well for us. So this is an example of that. So this, I'd like to introduce you to Clay CC. That's actually automated based on that assignment. We send the Calendly link so that they can schedule a time directly on Clay's calendar if they wish. And then Clay's obviously CC'd into the email so he can communicate with them. So it's great, obviously, for personalized follow-up. It reminds them of the conversation they had. It introduces them to a salesperson that they can interact with, and then they can automatically go and schedule a demo. So it's brilliant for building sales pipeline from your website. So let's look at the second use case. And Philip, this is one where you guys really pioneered. So can you just tell everyone sort of like the background of this and what you guys do today? And I've actually got some images of it, so I'll show everyone and how this all works.
Yeah, certainly. So it started like 2 years ago or something like that. And we started to use Autopilot. We started our journey with marketing automation. It's and one note of appreciation. Every time I see the blocks within your UI, every time I see the interface of movable blocks, I got excited. I mean, this never gets old. I love the idea of creating the flows in shapes of blocks, of connections and dots and everything. I just love it. So back to the use case. We had a lot of chats. Basically, our support team is around 20 people or less, and we do have a lot of chats. It's like 100 chats per person every day, and obviously, there are a lot of cases that repeat themselves. So let's say that the customers have an idea of customizing the chat widget, and we thought that it would be great to have them like follow up them with the additional content that they can explore later after the chat. So with that idea in mind, almost 2 years ago, I set up a simple script that was reacting to every chat being tagged within our interface to put that particular person in that particular chat into the journey that followed him up with like simple email with additional link or resource or anything like that to create like additional channel to educate her or him about the idea that was mentioned within the chat. So since then, our support team created a bunch of journeys. Actually, I'd be honest with you, we still use the old way. We still use the old script, but the script was today like replaced with integration. So integration actually happens to behave exactly the same as this particular script. And as I started to say, we do have like, I don't know, 16 journeys. All of them are really simple in the shape. So they do have a starter email, then a 1-day delay, and the follow-up email. So it's more like nurture or educational campaign. And I think that what's really great about it is that the information is split into parts, so it's really easy to digest, and we can comfortably say that after tagging the customer with a specific tag about a specific journey, we can comfortably say that they will be educated about the whole matter. So it basically offloads the chat traffic. Every time the visitor or the customer says that has some kind of problem with something, we can say him or her that we do have a specific journey, email journey, the knowledge journey, about this subject, so please wait patiently for the next email. We'll educate it about you. Will educate you about it, and we can move on. We can move on to the other chats. So it's great in offloading the chat channel. So in the left upper corner, you can see the basic the introductional email. It's really simple, and it informs you about what's going to happen within the next few days, and it invites you to interact. This is another great feature that, uh, like moving this conversation out to the email channel, you can create a field for another conversation. You can allow your customer to asynchronously ask about specific or particular subject within the journey. And what's also great about it is that you can create other ways of signing up for the same journeys. You can like recycle the same content. And we did a landing page with no journeys where you can search through all of them and sign up on particular one. We do use a Autopilot API here to make people sign up. And the third place where you can sign up for the journey would be the daily reporting. So we do have a daily report mechanism where you can see your progress of your license, of your chats and everything. And we added a contextual information about a possibility of joining up the journey about a particular subject. You can go even further, and you can say that you can correlate the suggestion to sign up with the particular data within the report. So let's say if we see that the company got some lower satisfaction scores, we can suggest that they sign up for journey about bringing the satisfaction up. And the funny thing that that pops out here is that the most popular journey was about handling the rude customers, the customers that get angry really quick, and it's really hard to serve them well. So this journey was the most popular one.
Oh, that's really interesting to hear. Yeah, I think that the thing that stands out to me here is someone who's been jumping on live chat myself occasionally to sort of get a feel for it and really interact with customers, is that there are a number of topics that come up all the time, and sometimes to expand on those things over live chat, it does become a little bit more difficult. And it's really nice to be able to tag something and say, hey, I'm going to send you a whole bunch of great stuff on this, and know that they're being looked after, and that you can sort of tell that story correctly. It's a pretty powerful feature, and it's been intriguing to me how you guys are using that to sort of in a customer success level as well, like really support your customers learning how to solve problems that may be quite that require, quite frankly, organizational change that you can't really help them over live chat for. But it's certainly an exciting use case. And you can imagine if you're in a different industry, like you're not in software as a service, like you're someone who's in fashion or in e-commerce. I've seen a number of people using this in really clever ways, where if people are interested in a certain product category, they might tag them and send them, more products that are related, or tag them and add them to a targeted newsletter thread. So like instead of getting the same sort of product newsletter that everyone else is getting, they're now getting more targeted products based on their interests that they've been tagged with during the live chat session with the agent. So there's some really interesting use cases, and I'm sure that people will come up with many more that we're unaware of just yet. This third use case is super exciting to me because it's something, Philip, quite frankly, we also copied from you guys, which we thought was really cool. And I'll just quickly explain it at a high level, and then I'd love to hear how it's been working for you. Basically, for those that are unfamiliar with NPS, anything above 8, which is a score out of 10, is considered a promoter. And this is a survey that you can send your customers to figure out, are they happy? Are they frustrated? will they be advocates for you, and so on and so forth. So anything above 8 is a promoter, and they're considered people that will tell other people about your product. And so one of the amazing things we saw LiveChat doing was when the NPS score was a promoter, they would send a follow-up and ask that person to review them on review sites online. So things like G2 Crowd and GetApp, and important review sites to their business. So Philip, can you tell me a little bit about the background about this, how you came up with the idea and how it's been working for you? Because I know it's been working tremendously well for us.
Sure thing. So I actually it started a while ago. I'm not exactly certain about the first time we ran this campaign with this journey, but the idea was simple. We thought that it would be cool to reach out to people who are actually happy with our product, because we thought that they are going to be willing to set up a review in the third party services like G2 Crowd or something. So we started out with the experiment, and actually the experiment went really cool. I mean, we got almost 100% response rate, and the people were really happy to actually put a review. They didn't know they could, so they were happy doing this, and it was extremely nice experience when you see a successful company that is happy with your product. That it's pretty much satisfying to see this kind of situation, and like I think that the customers were willing to do this in some kind of gratitude or something like that. So it worked really well for both parts, and we still run this kind of campaign. We grew over like great amounts of percent. I mean, over like double to the number of reviews or something like that. And yeah, I highly recommend you to set up some kind of journey around the happy customers to grow in the good reviews, but as well to put a focus on the customers that are not happy, because you can learn a lot from them. Basically, with a simple question that can a simple question, an answer to a simple question can bring you at a nice conclusion and probably save them, resurrect them to being a happy customer again.
Yeah, it's definitely a great way of just having a pulse on your customers. And, you know, I think, you know, Philip, that's sort of the inverse here is like if the score's bad, you know, with Autopilot, we send an email from me, which I respond to every single one, saying like, you know, how can we improve? What can we do better? And a lot of the time it leads to really thoughtful, productive conversations as well, and helps us tremendously. So you can really take advantage of these moments with customers throughout the customer journey by following them up and being really thoughtful about them. So do you want to talk through just some of the lessons quickly that you guys have learned from, you know, from automating and really being the pioneers of this automated follow-up after live chat? And then we've got a lot of questions, so I'm just going to dive straight into them before we run out of time. So we'll talk through this and then we'll jump into some questions.
All right, so I will try to be quick with that. But the thing I want to mention is that you should really focus on the moments, because being contextual, being like right in the moment is like a winner here. So every time a customer is willing to put a review for you, you should ask for it. Every time something goes bad, you should be there with an email for it, and so on and so forth. And I would think about this integration as a dispatcher of actions. So you can give your agents, your support reps, a great tool that allows them to achieve many more things with just a click. And about the other side, about creating the journeys, shaping them, one piece of advice is to experiment a lot. Just set up a very simple basic journey and evaluate and like move on and try new things, try to break something, try to like repair something. Everything that you do with a journey lets you know more and more and use it within your business. And yeah,
Yeah.
as a baseline here is
Oh,
to
sorry.
make life easier. Sorry, just to make the life easier for your customers, for your coworkers, and just for yourself.
Yeah, I think that point of being a dispatcher is just a really critical one because um, I don't know, there's some beautiful feeling to it when you tag something and you know it's going to be looked after. And I think
Yeah.
previous to that, you end up with sort of a scratch pad of notes of what you're going to have to do after each chat interaction. And often you're so busy that you don't really, that you find it really, really difficult to follow up. So, all right. So, rather than just go too far into this, I'm going to get to the questions, but you can do a bunch of other things after the live chat. So notify your team on Slack that that you've assigned a lead, or that someone's mentioned a certain feature. um, you can send follow-up emails. Obviously, add leads to other journeys by adding them to a list. Send NPS surveys to them directly after the live chat through Zapier using Delighted. You can also do things like the retargeting I showed, assigning leads in CRM, and following up with SMS, and even inviting them to your next webinar based on them saying, hey, I need help with this. We do this all the time. We say, okay, we run a one-on-one session for Autopilot. You can attend it. Would you like me to send you information? Yes, I would. You hit that tag, and away it goes. So I'll come back to that in a minute. We're just going to get to the questions first. So there is a ton of questions. I'm going to try and get through as many as we can. So the first question, Philip, I'm not actually too sure about this. Someone's asking, can you embed NPS questions in the live chat as the satisfaction question? Would you like to answer that for us?
I will need to check like the technical details here, but I think that it's pretty much possible with our new Visitor SDK. If you are able to build the chat widget from the ground up, from the blocks that we provide, it's pretty much possible to build anything that works for you. But in terms of ready to use, like the out of the box widgets, I'm not particularly sure, but I will follow up on that.
Yeah, so we can follow up on that on the blog. And one other way of doing it now, if that person's interested, is you can just use any NPS service you want, like Delighted, for example, that we use at Autopilot. And you can just then add the person to a list after they do the chat. So you can tag them in the chat, add them to a list, and then use that list in a Zapier Zap, and that will zap it over to Delighted, and then you'll be able to, that will automate and send that person the survey, and then that'll also return the score and the comment they left back into Autopilot, and that's sort of how you can automate it. Okay, so more questions. So someone said, is there functionality to have standard templated replies available to your agents? So Philip, that's probably one better suited to you. I do know the answer though.
Yeah, so we do have a mechanism called canned responses, and it's a simple mechanism that assigns a particular response to a particular string. So every time you put a hashtag and then like a shortcut or a short abbreviation of what you want to say, a whole answer will appear, and that will allow you to respond a bit quicker. I'm not sure if that was if that
Yeah,
answers
I
the
think that's
question.
what they were asking. I mean, we do use those. It's really cool in live chat too, because you just sort of do a hashtag and that recalls the canned response. And we don't try and use them that frequently because we want the conversations to be really personal. But we do use them for things like if someone's been on hold for a while, we'll say sorry to them or like apologize that they've been on hold.
Yeah,
Someone,
it's a
oh,
great,
sorry.
yeah. Sorry, it's a great feature to occasional things. Whenever you have some kind of connectivity issues, or you want to like say something repeatedly, you can use the canned responses thing, and it also works pretty well with tags and stuff. Just a quick jump in. Sorry.
So that's okay. So someone's asking, can Autopilot make chat pop up with a bot with multiple options for triggers? So I think I understand what you're saying. So a bot that can trigger journeys based on how people might respond or answer those questions. Technically, with LiveChat's bot framework, you could build this. It wouldn't be too difficult to build. You would need some developer experience or a developer to at least help you build it, but it is totally possible. In terms of sort of an out-of-the-box solution, not yet, but we do have a few cool improvements that we are working on with Heads Up and trying to get these things more integrated. So I don't want to say too much more about that right now, but we can, we have some interesting things in the pipeline around that stuff. Someone said, can your system push trigger to our chat? The answer is not yet, but it is definitely something that we're looking at in terms of, being able to trigger one of those like messages to appear. We actually do have a static message system called Heads Up that some of you might be familiar with, where you can push messages into the browser that do look similar to live chat, but the interaction is things like adding someone to a list or capturing a short reply. So you can do that functionality, but live chat equally has that functionality where you can set a bunch of rules based on time on page, or if they're looking at certain content, or there's so many different rules you can come up with where you could display chat there. So Philip, probably a question for you. Is there a bot with autonomized triggers? I don't know what they mean by that. Automized triggers. Is there a bot with automized triggers?
A bot with automized triggers. I guess if you go with the LiveChat and bot engine, two product of us, and combine it with the integration with Autopilot, you could achieve what you want. I mean, I'm not particularly sure what would be the use case, but if we're talking about a chatbot that actually can lead the conversation, and based on that conversation trigger something in Autopilot, I think that we can put this together. I would need to have some more details on that.
Yeah, so you can literally go and chat to LiveChat's team on their website.
I will recommend
is a great solution. So someone's saying that tags aren't available on the starter plan in LiveChat, but we do have a pretty cool discount that we're going to send you, which might help you with that if you want to get a higher plan. Is that right, Philip?
I guess so. I checked this earlier, but yeah, definitely the discount offer is on. I'm not sure about the tags. If you please go to the support on our website and ask them about the tags and the starter plan. You should also get an answer about that. But yeah, definitely the discount option is also a way to go with this.
Someone's asking about what if you have multiple live chat accounts. I assume they mean what if you want to connect multiple live chat accounts to Autopilot. Right now, we only do allow you to connect with one account. I'll be honest, I don't think we really thought that there would be use cases where people had several accounts. So you can only connect one account at a time. But you could always just go and create multiple Autopilot accounts as well if that was a big problem for you. It might be good to sort out the automations based on each individual account. Look, there's a lot more questions coming in. What I'll do is we'll have a follow-up blog post, and we'll try and answer these in that post because there is so many. I don't think we'll ever get through, and we'll have to keep people here for another hour to do that. A lot of people are asking about Heads Up and live chat and making them work together. And so all I'll say is it's very interesting. And it's something we're definitely taking a hard look at. Okay, I'm going to stop there because there's a lot, and I really appreciate it. I probably should have looked at these a little earlier to get to you. So like I said earlier, we are going to send out a 50% coupon. I hope it's still that. I think we put that here initially, but it's a really good deal we're going to send you to get started with live chat if you're not already a customer. This is for new customers, keep in mind, that sign up after this webinar. So we'll send that out in our follow-up. And of course, you can live chat with the live chat team over at livechatinc.com, or you can live chat to us at autopilothq.com by logging into the app or signing up for a trial. You can speak to us. And as of April 4th, like I said, we will be live on chat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we look forward to chatting with you. Philip, thank you so much for joining me today. And thanks to everyone that attended. I do wish we had more time. It's an interesting topic and something I'm really excited to see how it evolves and what use cases people come up with. And on the Autopilot side, we are working on more and more ways for you to connect to all of these best-of-breed products and improve them more and more. So stay tuned. We've got a lot to show you this year. Philip, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And I love what you guys are doing over at LiveChat.
Yeah, same here. Thank you so much for hosting me. And it's always a great pleasure to work with you and talk with you. I'm really looking forward to seeing another occasion for this. And yeah, thank you so much, and a warm greeting for our team.
Great. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone that attended. We have more great content coming up soon. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon. Bye.